That's the power of acoustics. It sounds like there's a million people in here. How are we doing, guys? You guys good? All right. Thank you. Welcome to Tiny Sets. Oh shit, presented by RJ in Comedy. I am your host for this evening, Ricarlo Winston. Let me get a little love. Let me get a little bit. I'm in the booth. I'm about to spit a freestyle. I'm not about to spit shit. I can't rap. That's one thing. I'm a black dude that can't rap. That's it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for me. So this is Tiny Sets. So if you guys, this is our second show that we've done. So I'm very proud that you guys are here. Very happy that you guys are here. The concept behind this is to give a little insight into comedians. So they're gonna do a quick 15-minute set, and then after that, I'm gonna ask them a couple questions. I did have some prepared, but then I got high before the show with Joe, and I forgot all of them. So we're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna be playing it off the cuff. That's all right though. The best things are done whilst high. Am I right? Oh yeah, man. I like to smoke weed. Oh shit! Did that light come on, or was it on the whole time? Did I just have an idea? I think I just had an idea. Oh, and it's gone. See, that's the weed. I had a thought, then it's gone, just like that. Like that, man. I like smoking weed. I do. I like the weed now because it works. Because back in my day, there was times that you were smoking, you'd have to like sit really still and ask your friend, "Are we high?" Because you didn't know. And like the weed back in my days came with hacks to it. Like you had to do stuff to increase your high. That's why so many people started smoking cigarettes, because somebody told them, "Man, if you smoke a cigarette after you get high, it increases your high like 10%. And they're like, "Oh shit, is that true?" Nobody did a fucking study on that to see if that shit was true. Here's one story that I did to try to get higher, and I almost died this day. I was riding around in the summertime. It was the middle of June. And my friend was like, my cousin told me, everything is always some secondhand information. It's never firsthand. It's always like my cousin or a friend. It's never, I did this and it worked. It's always like my cousin told me some shit. But what his cousin told him is if you get really hot, like if you roll your windows up on a hot day and hotbox your car and turn the heat on, you'll get like super high. Okay. So we were all like, hell yeah, let's try this. So we're rolling down the street in a 90-degree day. Windows rolled up, the heat cranked all the way up. We were like, yeah, I feel something. It was a fucking heat stroke. That's what the fuck we were feeling. We were about to die. That was death coming for us. I didn't want to get high that bad. That's why I like the weed these days. The weed these days, you smoke it and you're like, yep, I'm high. Like that's just, there's no question to it. There's no mystery to the weed these days. It works and it's available. I feel so bad for, what are drug dealers doing these days? Like what are people that used to sell weed do? Like does anybody know how to buy weed in the wild anymore? Like I don't fuck. No, if you were to drop me into Florida or like buy a dime bag, I wouldn't know what to do. I'd be like, ew, what is this? Is this a sativa? I don't. You just got to take whatever they have. Remember those archaic days when you just had to take the weed that they gave you? You didn't have time to ask questions because it was a quick process. You just had to take it. Now you can like really sit down with your bud tender like you're going to an iPhone store or some shit and ask questions about the weed. Like, where'd this weed come from? Oh, it's from Africa? Oh, it's connecting me to my roots. I feel good about that. Like, it's fucking crazy, man. Man, life's crazy. I smoke weed because I have kids also. I don't know if there's any parents out there, but weed helps. I don't know if you guys ever had, and teenagers are the worst because teenagers will say shit to you. It means nothing to them, but it will totally destroy you as a person. My son just turned 18, and my son sat down and he had a very serious conversation with me about the way I dressed. And he was like, Dad, and this outfit is after the conversation, and I tried hard today. Like, I went and bought this today because I cared, and I called him to see if it was cool, and he was like, you're good. And I was like, bet. But my son said to me, he said, Dad, you dress like you don't care if people see you or not. I'm like, what? What does that even mean? Like, I was like, what? And he just went about his day. Like, all right, I'll see you later. I'm like, no, you can't just drop that conundrum on me and walk away, sir. Like, went home and I'm just like, I dress like I don't care if people see me or not. Like, I thought I cared about myself. Apparently, I don't care about myself. So $500 later, I got an image now. So this is nice, but man. Teenagers, don't be so mean to your parents. Is all I'm saying. Don't say shit like that. I don't think I ever said anything to my dad like that growing up, because I had like a dad, you know, like a old school dad. Like, I'm a new school dad. Like, I don't so much have a dad bod. I have like a first cousin body. You know, like he took some philosophy classes. Like, that's the kind of body I have. Like. You know, you got a dad bod. Like, you got an old school dad, like big arms, big hands from just working in the field or some shit. I don't fucking know. Like, dads were built, you know. I'm a father. There's a difference, you know. I'm not a fucking dad. I'm a father, you know. Fathers can't fix shit. They call somebody. Like, for real, man. I remember going on trips, you know, with my dad, and he would have like a map scrawled out on the fucking dashboard, look at it for 2 seconds and be like, haha, we're off. And I'm like, whoa, Magellan, where the fuck we going? Like, you just looked at some squiggly lines on paper. What the fuck does that mean? And he would like get us to where we were going using a fucking map. You think I can read No, I can't read a map. Like, I have fond memories of my dad reading the map and us going on trips and things. My kids are gonna have fond memories of me arguing with the GPS lady. Like, we're a couple that's still together because the sex is good. Like, I don't fucking like you, but I need you. Like, that's what my kids are gonna remember. This is not can't read a fucking map. Like, just can't fix shit. I don't know anything about cars. You guys ever have a check engine light stay on so long that it just shuts itself off? Like, your car is just like, look, man, if you don't care, I don't care. Like, that's just, I don't got that. I'm not a manly man. I'm not, but this is fun, man. We're in the booth. You guys having fun? We good? We in there? We locked in? You guys ready to kick this thing off? This is gonna be great. All right, start clapping right now. This man is very funny. Coming to us from Grand Rapids, everybody. Put your hands together for Darius Walker, everyone.
Absolute pleasure to be here. You guys are going to learn a lot about me, so I'm going to learn a bit about you guys and feel you guys out as well. So, makes noise you're a basketball fan. Woo! All right. Makes noise you're a football fan. Woo! All right. And makes noise you're a NASCAR fan. Yep. I was hoping for silence on that one. That is what you call a welfare check. Safety is questionable. Like, you always got to ask because, you know, go do a lot of sets in different places, a lot of rural areas, you know. And with that, you always see a lot of people, and I like it here, you know, a lot of people, not mostly white for a change. I see a lot of white people always think town hall meeting. I see a lot of black people always think of something so much cooler. Yeah, a lot of times you always go to those small towns and there's a bunch of NASCAR fans. I just don't get it, but I kind of do. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of NASCAR, but not the biggest fan of me, so I kind of understand. Like, I think they can make the race a bit more entertaining. How about this? Beginning of every race, all drivers start at Uno card. If it's wild, you got to make a right turn, but nobody knows when. I think it would catch on. I think it would work. See, I work in healthcare, and my natural day-to-day, you go on back, it's a one-on-one environment, and it gets very stressful, you know? You're in there with a doctor, physician, therapist. It's tense. So you always try to cut the tension with a joke or a compliment. Had a bad review not too long ago. Guy comes on back in. He compliments me. He's like, hey, I really like your piercing. So then I do the reasonable thing. I pull out a card of the person who does my piercings and my tattoos. He then steps back and says, whoa, I'm not into self-mutilation. That's a little weird, right? Because I don't go up to people and say, hey, those are some really sweet shoes. I'm just not into Chinese sweatshops. I do respect their work ethic. They need to take a break. Not too long, Team iPhone. No, with that, though, it's always a little weird working in that healthcare environment because you're working with people that were born pretty old, you know? Like, we do one event, it's called the Senior Health and Wellness Expo. Or as I call it, can I convince you to stick around for one more year? And once again, these people were born in 1940, sometimes even the 30s. They're always asking me questions like, Darius, do you think the world's going to get better? Darius, do you think the world's going to get worse? Darius, you're a little too close to that water fountain. Ooh. You guys can feel the tension, right? I don't like it. I'm not a big fan. What's harder is dating these days, I feel like. Like, raise your hand if you came here with your wife. Keep your hand up if you left your girlfriend at home. I look for an honest crowd, that's all. That's all. Because that's the real thing you have to ask nowadays. You always go on a date and they're always like, what's your name, what's your sign, and are you married? And only answering one of those questions actually could end the date immediately. Like, oh no, Geminis are not for me. It's a weird time, weird time. I think the hardest time for dating was actually during lockdown. Because during that period of time, you're just on your phone, scrolling. You finally match with somebody. Then where are you going to go? You can't just say, hey, let's go meet in the woods. Scout's honor. I'm not a serial killer. I'm going to need that in FaceTime. I did go on one date during that period of time. It did go very well. They still haven't found the body. She could have saw signs, you know. Like I showed up. My icebreaker was, how much true crime do you watch? She said, true what? And I said, I'll pick you up at 6. I showed up there, you know, with flowers and a card. And it was real innocent like. Like the card said, does anyone know you're here right now? She wasn't that great. I look for my red flags really early nowadays. Like, I'm really on it. My red flags are very simple. You have to like black people. I'm going to take it a step further. Your family does too. Because you meet some people that are like, I love them, Dad loves them. My grandpa, he's kind of quirky. I'm like, ooh, quirky. Quirky is only used to describe the autistic and the not-so-closet racist. She's like, well, the real thing is he actually has dementia. You know, he doesn't know who I am. He doesn't know my dad. And I was like, well, the funny thing about dementia is you don't remember your family, your friends, or your loved ones, but you still remember you don't like black people. It's like they keep that one backed up in the hard drive. Like, he doesn't remember Heidi's birthday, but he does remember the day Heidi brought home Jerome. I get it. He doesn't know his numbers, but he never forgets his colors. So. Grandpa. No, I understand, though. People can't be great all the time. That's always like a high expectation all the time. Like, we have our peaks and we have our valleys, you know? Like R. Kelly, great musician, bad babysitter. Casey Anthony, bad babysitter, great murder mystery maker. It varies. I like to reminisce anytime I'm in town. I always think about high school. In high school, I tried to join the swimming team, and it was real, you know, small group, so all had nicknames, you know. Like, we all knew what we were good at. Like, we had one guy, his name was Bullet. He went by Mac, and he was Bullet because he was just so fast. We had another guy named Carson. His nickname was Drip, because when he would dive, never a splash, just a drip. And then myself, I could beat both of those guys in a race, you guessed it, to the bottom. My nickname was Anchor. Yeah. Joining the swim team doesn't come with swim lessons, I learned. Didn't catch that. Wasn't ready for it. So my family, though, is just like this. My grandma doesn't know how to swim. My great-grandma doesn't know how to swim. My mom doesn't know how to swim. My mom was also in the Navy. And for a lot of people, that doesn't make sense. Like, being in the Navy and not knowing how to swim, that's like being a line cook and not having a cocaine addiction. Come on now. I want my Applebee's right. Yeah, it's always difficult. I love wearing my eyeglasses. It's always really cool. I'm pretty new to glasses not too long ago. Like, I can see and hear how much my grandma bullies me. You know, she's a little bit old school. She's like, you know, real men don't wear glasses. I was like, wow. Grandpa wasn't a cheater. He was just blind. I can't wait, though. It won't last, you know, forever. Because I can't wait for that magical day when she moves to Florida. Because you know what they call Florida? God's resting room. It's like, oh, well, that makes hurricane season Judgment Day. Yeah, I can't wait for that day. My family didn't have the skills. That was the tough part. Like, they didn't have the skills. Like, it's like Dungeons and Dragons. You're not familiar with that? You know, you roll the dice, you have the skills, you have the levels. Like, I wish my family had +3 show me love, +4 be kind. If all they had was a +7 mastery of a leather belt skill. They knew their way around the belt. I might not look as nerdy, but I do love like some of those hobbies. Like I do play Dungeons and Dragons, and it gets real intense, you know. Like I had one day not too long ago, I forgot my pen, and I had to go outside, and the door locked, and I had to run around the block to get back inside. And as I was running, I'm jogging. Oh no, white woman walking casually. At this moment, she's locking eyes with me. I see her. I slow down my walk. I turn into just a slower walk at that point. I'm going by casually. Her eyes are locked with mine. We're getting closer. You can feel the tension. And in that moment, as we're just about to pass each other, she plants her feet, puts both her hands up, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe she thought that weak-ass stance would stop me. I had the momentum. For my Star Wars fans, I had the higher ground. Yeah. No, I feel like you have to be honest, though, with your family. You got to be honest with your friends all the time. Like, I always take a bunch of my friends. We go up north. We sit around a fire. We play the finger game. Not that one. You know, never have I ever. You know, if you had it, you put a finger down. I was like, all right, chlamydia. Any burn victims here? A couple fingers went down. One guy put all his fingers down. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. I don't think he understands how this game works. I said, let's do another round. Gonorrhea, the clap. I was like, put a finger down if you had the clap before. Some guys put a finger down. Same guy put all his fingers down. I was like, I got to ask questions. I came up to him. I was like, so, you know how the game works. You put a finger down if you've had it before. He said, oh, well, I thought you put a finger down based on how many times you've had it. I was like, well, how many times have you had the clap? He said, I had the clap 6 times. Like, ooh, that's no longer the clap. That's a round of applause. STDs. I got some pretty cool coworkers. They're pretty all right sometimes. I got one. She was a little too cool sometimes. We went out for some drinks. Her name's Kim. Just to kind of paint the picture, she's a bologna sandwich making Kim, not an orange chicken kind. And we sat there, and she likes a little bit stronger drink. Like I had just, you know, a domestic beer. She likes craft. You know, they get you there a little bit further. After we have our first round, I'm asking, I'm like, Kim, how many of my domestic equal on your craft? She's like, well, Darius, like 2 or 3. You know, it's a little stronger drink. I was like, okay, we have our second round. I'm feeling it a little bit more. I'm thinking like, so Kim, how many of your craft beers equal on my domestic? She's like, well, Darius doesn't work like that. You don't take bigger into smaller, take smaller into bigger. Like we know how many pennies it takes to get to a nickel. You don't think about how many nickels it takes to get to a penny. So we have our third round, and I'm really feeling it. I'm giggling. I'm laughing. She's like, Darius, what's on your mind? I was like, well, are you sure you don't know? In that moment, she was done. She chugged her drink, slammed it down, said, Darius, do you want to go home with me? And I said, does George Bush like black people? Because the signs weren't clear at that moment. And in that moment, I'm like, don't you, Kim, you have a husband. She's like, Darius, I'm polyamorous. I'm going to stop you right there. I'm also good at geometry. And she said, no, Darius, it works like this. Like, I'm allowed, as long as he knows about you like he does, I'm allowed to take you back home. And that's all right. I'm like, oh, okay. So I did the smart thing in that moment, and I went back home with her, because who doesn't like a free trial? And in that moment, he came home a little bit earlier because our little spat and argument, we heard a little bit noise behind the door. She cracks open the door. She's her husband with another person. She doesn't know what to do at this point because this person wasn't planned, and we were supposed to be gone still. So at that moment, Kim thought she could either shut that door, forget about this moment, and go, or she could enter loud and proud. Kim chose option number 2. Kim kicks open the door, both heads come up, she catches her husband with another guy. I know what you're thinking. Score 1 for the gays. In that moment, he panicked. The guy ran towards the door. Kim pulled out a knife, stopped him in his tracks. He was stuck like a toddler in a slide panel van. Nowhere to go. In that moment, Kim's husband thinks he can make a plea deal. He comes on up. He puts both hands together. He closes his eyes. He forgot. Kim is the opportunist. Kim cocks back him square in the face. He goes down. She later gets arrested. I feel like that's when I got my answer, though. That 1 fruit and 3 crafts equal 1 domestic. Thank you. Thank you. I'm a firm believer that I feel like everything goes around in a circle. Like everything's just constantly going around. Like leggings, people forget. They're very popular today. They were very popular in the 70s and the 80s. Escape rooms. Saw one right outside. Very popular today. we tend to forget about the greats. Harriet Tubman, 19-0. I'm just saying, it was an escape room and she was the Undertaker, and every day was WrestleMania. No, I'm just saying, I'm a firm believer that escape rooms are a simulated way for white people to feel like a minority for 30 minutes. It's a game. Feel like you just don't see a lot of black people doing escape rooms, kind of the same reason you don't see us on cruises. We're not falling for that one again. Guys, once, not twice. No. Raise your hand if you've done an escape room before. All right. Sir in the back. Now, would you do an escape room with just you and your significant other? No, that's the wrong answer. That means you don't value that relationship. Because you go to couples therapy to fix the relationship. You go to couples therapy to fix the relationship. You go in an escape room, find a reason to end it. Because shit's going to come up. You're going to be looking for clues. You're going to learn the real clue is, you forgot how to cherish me. No, it's tough. It's tough. No, I feel like one thing I'm okay with not coming back, and that one thing would be affirmative action. If not familiar with affirmative action, it's positive discrimination. And I think some things should be discriminated against. Drag shows. I think my drag kings and queens, we need them a little queer. Because when you think about it, what is an all-straight drag show? Well, that's a Civil War reenactment. No, close your eyes and think about it. They dress up, they put on a show, and someone's always a little uncomfortable when they're talking to kids. That's about right. It's pretty fun. It's been a pretty good time. It's been a pretty fun winter. Not too long ago, I actually got some pretty good news. I got promoted in my job. My relationship's going very well. And I found out I'm going to be an uncle. Woo! I really won that threesome. It's like going to a casino and breaking even. Like, I went all in, and I don't owe the house my weekends. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. I handle good news very well. I don't handle bad news that well. Like, I read the news at my own pace. Like, one thing I don't like, I was reading the news not too long ago and talked about a gay club that burned down. Talk about some hot fruits. In the moment, though, I went to my favorite tavern. I sat at the bar, and this guy comes up to me. His name's David. He's like, "Hey, I'm David. I'm Jewish. I'm a runner." I was like, "That's a weird way to introduce yourself." I said, "Hi, I'm Darius Black, very anxious." And in that moment, I asked David, like, "What's going on?" You know, David's like, "Well, life's not that great. You know, I recently lost my job. My wife is no longer talking to me. My son stopped talking to me, and he brought my grandson away from me as well." And he said, "Really, I don't know what to do. So when I went home, I also caught my wife cheating on me with another woman. And I'm a little bit on the older side, so the sky's no longer the limit. It's the ceiling, and with me hanging from it." And in that moment, I got off my stool. I looked him square in the eyes, and I said, "Score 2 for the gays." Now, in that moment, I told him, "You got to continue on, David, because life has its peaks, has its valleys." I wish I could check out with David right now, but David's no longer with us. He's in Arizona. All right, guys, you guys been great. I've been Darius Walker.
Give it up for Darius Walker, everybody.
Yeah.
Darius, very funny, very funny. So, okay, so in the story with Kim, where the fuck did you pull the knife from?
You never know. Kim always has a knife.
Kim always
has a knife.
Kim stay ready. She was about to wanted you to poke her. She was gonna poke her husband. That was nice.
Yeah, but I'm the only one that's black, so I think only one person going down for the crime.
This is true. So, like, at what point did you realize that you were funny, like actually funny?
I would say when I went up for an open mic and I was a bit curious, I was like, "Oh wow, these jokes in my head make other people laugh." You know, not like class clown funny. That's a different type of funny, and being at work funny is a different type of funny. That's water cooler funny.
Okay, all right. So, growing up, did you use like a lot of us used our humor like to make friends or to diffuse situations? What did you use your humor for growing up?
It was a little bit of more of the cope, you know. Got a sad background life. Grew up in a not so nice area, not too far from here, and a lot of my friends, you know, they were killed and murdered, sadly, and you have to cope with that. You cope with that with humor.
Okay, and that's when life gives you lemons, guys. Am I right? Yeah, you know what I mean? No, but thank you guys. Give it up for Darius Walker, everybody. All right, let's keep this show going. Coming to the stage next. Put your hands together for Christa Wright, everyone.
I don't know if anyone heard it, but when I stood up, I went, oof, because I'm 45 years old. Yeah, put my emotional support notebook down. All right. A girl. Wow, they got one, you guys. This is so exciting. Yeah, we try to get girls out of the way at the beginning of the show. Every time I'm on a lineup that's just like all dudes, there's a little voice in my head that goes, I'm in danger. But it's not super loud. I feel like there are a lot of women here, so I feel like we could outnumber them. You know what I mean? Also feel like I'm going to be a part of like the coolest magic show ever or something, dude. I feel like I'm in the TARDIS. Anyone knows what that is? Yeah. My Doctor Who girlies out there? Anyway. All right, I'm going to introduce myself. Hello, my name is Christa. I'm 27 years old. I'm a Virgo. I'm sorry. In college, they used to call me Little Caesar because I'm hot and ready. Then you take me home, and it turns out I'm just kind of greasy. I fall apart really easily. You gotta be a little drunk to truly appreciate me. But I taste great dipped in ranch, so there's that. Just kidding. They didn't call me that in college. They didn't call me anything in college. I didn't have a ton of friends. And I also spent most of my college years a virgin. But I'm a whore now, so I'm making up for it. You know? It's a super fun time for me. Been getting a lot of hickeys lately, which I think is fine. I don't know why everyone else has such a problem with it. And I'll go to work with hickeys on my neck, and my coworkers will look at me and they'll go, what's that on your neck? And I go, a curling iron burn, bitch. Like, what the fuck do you think it is? Ask stupid questions, get stupid answers. I don't know. They're always like, isn't that a little immature, Christa? Like, isn't that a little high school, little immature? And I go, I was the president of the Bible study club in high school, okay? I wasn't getting hickeys. I'm just making up for lost time, dude. Amen. Anyway. Yeah. I also chopped my hair off like 8 months ago, so I don't have anything to cover the hickeys up with anymore. Chopped my hair off. This is the haircut we call the Menti B, the mental breakdown. It's the one you give yourself at 3 a.m. with mascara running down your face. You know, I didn't regret it though, so that's good. I didn't know growing up that I was gonna be like that girl that cut her hair when she was going through crisis. But I think it's kind of fun, honestly. It keeps me on my toes. It's a hoot and a half. I never know how it's going to turn out, and no, neither does anyone else. And I think that's fun, and it puts us all on level ground, equality. But, I don't know. It's kind of nice, though, because, like, I'll go to work the next day. Like, after I chopped my hair off, I went to work the next day, and all my coworkers were like, oh, my God, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, now. The hair's gone, dude. I don't know. Yeah, I was fine, you know. I don't know why they get so concerned because, like, before I started cutting my hair, I would just cut myself. That always gets mixed reviews. My therapist told me I can tell that joke. She thought it was funny. Oh, God. My therapist loves me. It's probably because I give her so much money. But also, she thinks I'm funny. Like, one time I was sitting in her office, and she was like, you know what? I just honestly, like, I love all of our sessions. I feel like I'm getting a private little comedy show. And I'm like breaking down and I'm crying and I'm like, I'm glad you're having fun, Mary. They're having a good time. Anyway, let's talk about my dad. Actually, just kidding. We don't talk about my dad. Which is probably why I cut my hair. Anyway. I don't know. It's kind of fun, though, because since I cut my hair, I've been getting a lot of confused boners. Not me. My dick is spiritual and 9 inches long and black. But no, like I was at the store the other day and I didn't look like this. Like I had no makeup on. I had a hoodie, like sweatpants. You kind of couldn't tell, you know, that I was me. And I had a guy, like I was just in the candle section, just sniffing my candles, minding my own business. And this dude, like I noticed, was looking at me. And I could see the wheels turning in his head. And he was just like, ugh, no butt, short hair, boy, 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 you know? But then he kept looking a little bit longer. And he was like, perky nipples, a twinkle in her eye, girl, you know? And then his pants started to get tighter, and I was just like, listen, it's okay. Okay, for all intents and purposes, I am not a boy or a girl. I'm a problem. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like, it's okay. I am a girl. It's fine. But you started getting hard when you couldn't tell, so you're a little bit gay. Just like a little bit gay, which is fine. It's 2024. You know, everyone's a little bit gay. It's a spectrum. You know, like I'm a little bit gay. But the part of me that is gay is basically a straight man that's afraid of women. They're so pretty. I don't want to bother them, you know. One of them is nice to me, and I go, oh, thanks. And then I walk away like that. No, I just like, I don't know. I vent to my friends a lot about it. And they go, like, I'm like, what if I get down there, south of the border, you know, and I don't know what to do? Like, what if I don't know what to do? And all my friends are like, well, Christa, that's stupid. Like, you have one. And I was like, yes, elaborate. And they're like, you have a vagina. You love vaginal orgasm. You can make that happen. And I go, I don't know why you said it like that, for one. For two, I love fettuccine Alfredo. I don't know how to fucking make it, okay? Like, I'm obsessed with lasagna. I don't have a degree in the culinary arts. Your logic is flawed, okay? But they try to understand, which is nice, because I do complain a lot. Anyway. This is so fun. I'm in my little magic box, and I kind of want to disappear right now. Anyway. I'm kind of a dick, though. And you know what? I was really hoping that cutting my hair would make me look as mean as I am, and it didn't work. Like, I still look like I'm trying to sell you Girl Scout cookies, which is a bummer for me. But I'm mean, and I wish people would just know that. Like, I lost a comedy competition recently. I know, hard to tell, right? But, like, afterwards, everyone was, like, kind of, like, jokingly roasting, like, the guy who won. And that's the day that I found out that I can't be petty and funny. I can only be petty and mean because it was my turn. And I was like, oh, wait. Oh, my God. Congratulations on winning this comedy competition. I'm sure your children will love this extra $75 as much as they would have loved the attention of their father. Yeah, they didn't like that shit one bit, dude. I tried to walk it back. I was like, oh no, it's great. It's fine. Like my dad wasn't around, right? And I turned out great. I'm here losing comedy competitions. Anyway. I never really started to miss my hair until it got cold, because I don't have like my built-in earmuffs anymore. My ears got cold. But I also fucking hate the sun. Like, I love the fall and the winter because the sun is my enemy. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a redhead. And it's just like the sun is useless to me because I just freckle, dude. Like, I get really, really burnt, and then I freckle, and then I go back to being pale. Which just doesn't seem fair, you know? Like, I feel like I earned something, right? I should have a tan. I feel like I earned that tan. But I think my goal in life is to just, like, one day I will have enough freckles on my body that it will just become one giant tan all over my whole body. So I think that'll happen. or I'll get melanoma, whichever one comes first, but I'm really hoping it's the tan. Sorry, I didn't mean to make cancer jokes. Anyway. Yeah. You know how people have audacity? They really do be having it. Like, I have people come up to me all the time because I have curly hair, and they'll ask me if I mix with other races. And I'm like, first of all, I feel like you shouldn't just ask people that. Second of all, unfortunately, no, I'm just very white. I'm Norwegian and Swedish and Irish. I'm, like, painfully white. Like, I'm the kind of white, like, if the sun hits me at the right angle, you can see through me. Like, I guess what I'm saying is I identify as translucent. Our pride flag is just an opaque piece of plastic from the recycling center. Thank you for your support. Yeah, I'm super Scandinavian, and I feel like that's not fair because I'm a little bitch, dude. Like, honestly, I think every day I can feel my ancestors just shaking their head at me because, like, I'm so scared of There's a spider, like a really big spider that lives above my front door, and I don't want to go through my front door. I try to find other ways out of my house every day, and my ancestors are looking at me like, oh my God, she came from us? We wasted a perfectly good pair of, like, childbirthing hips on her. She's a disgrace, that girl. Children. Anyone here have kids? Obviously you brought yours. Anyway, my condolences. I don't like, not you, he seems great. But like, I don't have kids because I don't really want them. It's not that I don't want them, it's just, so the women in here who have kids, was that fun? Like pushing it out? Was that a hoot and a half? No, dude, that's a bad time. I've seen movies, okay? I know that that's not fun, okay? Like, there's a lot of, like, tearing and ripping that I'm just not interested in. Like, I just, like, don't want to push one out of my coochie, you know what I mean? Sounds like a bad time. I feel like I wouldn't mind adopting. I feel like my goal is to adopt because that's just, like, good for the planet. It's basically recycling. But I'd like to adopt. And I talk to people about it a lot of the time, but like, it gets funny sometimes because there's always that one dude who's like, oh yeah, I want to adopt. Picture him. That's exactly what he sounds like. He's like, yeah, I want to adopt. I would adopt. But I want to have one of my own to further my bloodline. And further your bloodline, dude. You're a cashier at the Walmart in Hastings. What's so special about your fucking bloodline, dog? Jeez, what are you, a Targaryen? And the answer is yes, is because he's from Middleville. And if you don't know what that means, it means people from Middleville fuck their cousins. Anyway, that's a very niche joke. No, I think adoption is cool, sure. Also, kids are really mean. Like, again, not you. You seem wonderful. But, like, in my experience, children are very mean. Like, I have nieces and nephews that I love to death. I love them so much. I do. I also have a skin condition. I have rosacea, so I wear a lot foundation a lot of the time. But my niece was coming up to visit one time, and I was so excited to see her, but I also didn't have makeup on. And so I went up to her. I was like, oh, my God, how are you? I love you. It's been so long. Like, how's life been going? And she looked at me, and the first thing she said was, what's wrong with your face? And I looked at her, and I was like, I am holding on by a thread. The only reason I'm here is to be a role model for you. Do you want to lose that? No? Then don't talk to me. And she doesn't, so that worked. But yeah, kids are mean. Kids are shitty. I gotta stop saying that when there's people here who have and love kids. I also feel like I wouldn't be a great mom because I have a lot of anxiety. So like if a child like fell down, it would be fine, but I wouldn't be. It would have to be like, Mom, calm down, it's okay. I'd be like, oh God, okay. But anyway, I'm gonna move on from children. I'm just gonna tell you something about myself. I majored in theater for 5 years, so I'm a bartender now. But I did, and there are some misconceptions about theater people that I would like to address to the crowd, if I may. The first one is that we all love improv. We're all crazy about improv. The second one is that we all have daddy issues. And the third one is that we all love butt stuff, which I think is odd. It's an odd thing. But I'm just here to set the record straight, okay? I would like to address that. It's not true, okay? I hate improv. And butt stuff freaks me out. I don't get it. Guys are always poking around down there. And I'm just like, get out of there, dude. Like, what do you think you're gonna find? You know, the fountain of youth, meaning of life? Not in my anus. Try the next one, buddy. It also makes my vagina feel really bad. Do you know how hard it is to maintain a proper pH balance? She's working so hard. Okay, she just wants some dick. And you want to give it to her stinky next door neighbor. That's just rude. Apologize. Just kidding. That's been my time. Thank you for listening.
Keep it going for Christa Wright, everybody.
Thanks.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Oh, very funny. Very funny. So, first question is, how long has that fucking spider been living over your door?
I found out recently that it is dead.
Okay, good.
Dude, it's like this big, okay? And it was moving up until recently. I was like, how did you adapt to survive in the winter? That's terrifying. I don't want them to be able to do that. Anyway,
that
so.
spider was like, I'm going to fucking get you before I
exactly.
go. You're lucky. All right. How unsafe did you feel when that guy was like, I want you to birth my children?
Dude,
like,
okay.
how?
I didn't feel unsafe. I felt, I laughed. I mocked him, dude. I was just like, first of all, no. No, thank you. Second of all, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And I just didn't.
Guys, would you ever say that in the heat of the moment? I want a girl to keep your bloodline going. Is that something you think will work?
I Viking cosplay it or something.
I mean, if it's like role playing, maybe. But like, I'm not gonna. If this dude is like, if we're just talking and he's like, yeah, I want to further my bloodline with you. That's the most incel shit I've ever heard in my life. I'm like, no, no, thank you.
What kind of guys are you with that are saying?
First of all, it was a setup. It was a blind date. It was not my fault.
Cool. Just checking.
Yeah.
That person was not your friend. Because they knew, they talked to that guy before, and they knew that he was looking to further the bloodline.
They were like, well, he's really into like Star Wars, and I was like, I can tell, but you know that Star Wars isn't the only thing I like, right? Like,
Yes.
also.
Oh shit, that is funny. So, at what age did you realize that you were like actually funny? Like,
Thinking back to the trauma. No, I'm just kidding. Well, okay. So my mom, ever since I was very young, always called me her little entertainment because I would just like follow her around and do weird shit because I was just like, love me. But I don't think that's really the intention. I think that, not with her because I was like, I know she loves me, but like everyone else, I need you to love me. So I'm just gonna do some weird shit and I hope you laugh at it, which is basically what I've just done to this day. I've never stopped. So.
I think that's how a lot of us get started. I feel like just like I need some attention, so this is the best way to get it. I can't keep burning shit,
heater,
so I can figure something out. So, how do you come up with a lot of your material? Like where do you? Because for me, I come up with it in the shower. Oh. I don't know, but like for you, where do you feel like you come up with most of it?
I watch Netflix in the shower, so I don't do that. I honest to God, it's just like at work or like talking to people. Like I say something and if they laugh, I go, oh, I should say that on stage, and then I do, and then sometimes it turns into a whole bit, or sometimes it's just like, sometimes people don't laugh and I go, oh, I liked it though, so I'm just gonna keep saying it. But that's usually it. It's just conversation.
How long you been doing comedy?
Oh God. So I think it's 2 years, 2 years ish, and then like 3 years if you count the handful of sets I did before the pandemic shut down, and 4 years if you count when I started fucking comics. But 2 years is the official answer. What? Prove it. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man, that's
I don't do it anymore. I'm a reformed chuckle fucker. Anyway.
chuckle fucker.
Yeah. That's how I got in. Did you know there was a term for the people that have sex with us? We're not cool enough for that.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
You should know that by now. It's chuckle fuckers.
I've never.
Crazy.
I don't
We're
think
all learning stuff today.
I don't think I've ever been so funny that a girl's like, I gotta fuck you. Like I don't have a joke that good. I wish I did.
It's less of a you're so funny, and it's more of a I need the approval that my father didn't give me.
Oh, okay.
That's a joke. I want everyone to know that. That's what I'm doing here.
Keep it going for Christa Wright, everybody. All right, let's keep this show going. You ready? Coming to the stage, very funny. Start clapping right now. Put your hands together for Joe Elder, everyone.
Hi, everybody. How we doing? Oh, my gosh. Hey, thanks for coming to this strip mall and watching this show for free. How you holding up, little guy? Pretty good? Good, man. I feel like, and it's not your fault, but I feel like everyone's weirded out that there's a younger person in here. But we all have to remember, he has the internet. There's nothing that's been said in this room you don't know. Matter of fact, you have a phone? Let's check out your search history. Let's see what words you know. What words do you know? I bet she knows all the bad ones. I'm just kidding, dude. I'm just playing. My name's Joe. Hi, guys. How you doing? I'm a country boy, which means I grew up in a traditional family, so it didn't count as hitting if mom did it. And my mom was actually a high school counselor, so she was like double layered in being able to do it. There's nothing you could do, no one you could call. One of my sisters, in the middle of my mom just whooping down on her, my sister looked up and she's like, I'm going to call CPS on you. My mom leaned over and goes, 1-800-287-7878. Ask for Cheryl. I was like, God damn, Anna. She knew it. She did psychological stuff, too, because she was a bigger gal, so she was really strategic about her movements. And she would be in the passenger seat when Dad was driving, didn't want to pull the car over. So she'd put her hand back and go, put your face in my hand. You had to come from the back around your family and put your face into her hand so she could feel it and then hit it. It was pretty cool. Good one to use later on, Dad, by the way, for you. But no, also, I had a classic, like I said, traditional family, because then I had a dad that yelled a lot. Anybody? Yeller dad? Anybody? No, I'm just kidding. You probably, do you yell? You don't look like you have the glasses to be a big yeller. He's like... I was going to say, partly because of your silence, I was like, he wouldn't yell. But then I was like, nah, I don't know. There's maybe a buildup of anger in there. I had an angry-ass dad. He worked at the post office. Pissy. He's pissy all the time. Just pissy. He'd get mad over little things. And what's funny is he would flip on a dime. Like, he was a morning person, but little things would make him angry. So he'd be, like, waking me up like, hey, buddy, time to get up. It's time to do the recycling, all right? I'll give you 5 minutes. And then he'd walk out the room, and I'd be up with my shirt on, getting my shoes on, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, boom, boom. You get your ass out of bed, you little piece of shit! I don't even tell you. And it's just like, my God, dude, I'll fold the cardboard right. But he was just an angry person, you know? And it's funny when you're young and somebody is angry, they're scary. Everything they do is scary. But as a little guy growing up, there comes a point where it goes from scary to just funny, like odd. It looks sad, really. And that happened for me when we were in the garage. He's underneath the car trying to change the oil. I'm holding the flashlight wrong for him, of course, sitting there. And he's underneath it. And as he's trying to unscrew the gas cap or the oil cap, the cap falls, and it falls into the bucket that the oil's supposed to draw into. Oil starts falling. He's trying to move the bucket. The oil's going all over, but he's stuck underneath the car. And he's kicking his feet and yelling and swearing. He's just like, he sounded like Joe Pesci from Home Alone. And I'm just standing there looking at him, and I was like, I'm never going to grow up and have little things like that make me angry. And that is bullshit, because that's all that happens, dude. When you're an angry person, it's not a big thing that makes you angry. It's a ton of little things. Just little things over and over again, built on top of each other, bullshit after bullshit, like a bullshit lasagna, just a stress ball of fettuccine alfredo, you know, it's just bullshit. It's like having to work 2 extra hours on a Saturday, but Danae in accounting's not going to get there till Monday, so she won't punch in your hours, so you're getting paid 2 weeks after that. Well, that's a little bit of bullshit. Layer after layer. You go drive down to the grocery store, you hit the 4-way stop, a guy's on the other side, he's like, go ahead, you can move. You're like, no shit, I can move. I stop first. Who the fuck are you, the 4-way stop police? Tell me what to do. Bullshit after bullshit. Layer after layer. The next thing you know, you're in the 30th aisle at Walmart, and you find out that birdseed costs $2 more than it used to. And you're like, that's it. I'm gonna burn this motherfucker to the ground. You start running, finding anyone wearing a blue vest. Just a little guy on the other side stacking shelves. You spear him down like Goldberg as I'm just raining blows down on this kid left and right. All I can think is, oh my gosh, I am just like my dad. That's fun. It's silly. You guys are silly. Oh my gosh. I was seeing a gal for a while, and she was fun. She was a good person, but she was a little hung up on her past relationship. So we'd always go out to eat. We're having a good time, and random things would circle back to her ex-husband Gary. Right? And it sounds recent, but she had been gone from Gary Gary had been gone for 2 years, you know what I'm saying? But she'd just bring it around. She'd be like, oh, you ordered blue cheese with your wings? Oh, you know who else did that? That piece of fucking shit Gary. You know what he did to me one time? It's like, my God, lady, right? So everything circled back around to Gary. But she'd start telling me stories about Gary once she leathered him into the conversation. And then she'd start talking about it, but she wouldn't talk about it in third person, like she's telling a story about someone. She'd start telling the story in first person about what she said to him. But people in public don't know that. They just see this lady yelling at me like I'm fucking Gary. You know, she's just like, you piece of shit, you didn't do this to me, you're the worst guy ever. I'm like, I'm not Gary, dude, I'm not that man, you know? I didn't leave your kids at a rest stop in Sheboygan. He did that. That wasn't me. It was just stressful, I guess. No. Oh, man. We're going to quick key change here. I'm a stupid person, so you can tell that from the set, but I'm not bright. But I have opinions, so I gotta share them. You know, I'm an American. But I just liked that we used to argue over dumber things in the past. We still argue over stupid things. But I liked the dumber things from the past, 4 or 5 years ago, right? 4 or 5 years ago, it was Obama's tan suit. That was a big deal. Can a president wear tan? Who gives a shit, right? But right around that time, one of the best ones ever was around, and it was gay wedding cakes. Do you remember that time? Everybody wanted to make a gay wedding cake. It was important. Every baker in the country had to do a report. People were just coming into their shop would you make a gay cake for someone if they came in? And some of them would say yes, and some of them would say no. And the ones that said no, they'd be like, you make these fucking cakes, you bastard. And it was just, who cares what bakers think? Politically, who cares, you know? But for me, I kind of did side with the bakers that said no, right? Because do you all know how hard it is to make a gay wedding cake? Compared to a straight wedding cake? That ain't nothing, you know? Picture it. You're you live in Champaign, Illinois. You're just a humble baker. Took over the shop from Granddad 10 years ago. You've been making nothing but straight cakes the whole time. Just vanilla with that weird blue frosting. Happy birthday, Andy. Congratulations, Annette, you know? And then next thing you know, Alphonse and Leandro come in, and they want a 7.5-foot tall chocolate and strawberry cascading Graciana, and you're just like, I'm homophobic. I can't do that. I don't believe in what you're doing. You'd rather be a bigot than bad at his job. That's America. I'm glad you guys half went with me on that one. That was good. Oh my gosh, good. We'll stick to the political stuff. The Chinese have invented a blowjob machine. Did you all know that? Yeah, did you all know that? They came up with it's a blowjob machine, right? It's terrifying. It looks like the outlet at a bowling alley, the ball return, just wide open like a rolling tongue. Like, oh my God, dude, I'm not going to put my wiener in that thing. Put my penis on the line for international politics, dude. It's crazy. Because honestly, like, let's be real. We know the Chinese, and we know they're smarter than we are. They're going to run an algorithm, find out when most Americans have their dick in this machine. They're going to push a button, and it's going to cinch up, and all of a sudden, zoom, boom! Your dick is caught in the wall. There'll be a man on the other side, same predicament. Zoom, boom! His dick is caught in the wall. Creating a next generational Chinese finger trap. How do you get out of a Chinese finger trap, everybody? Gotta touch tips, baby. You gotta touch the tippies. It's the only way out to relieve the pressure. Are any of you listening to me right now? I'm talking about a dick trap machine, securing penises 1 inch from each other. You and me, orange shirt in the back, dude, locked in, PD to PD. The only way out is we're gonna have to get over a little bit of homophobia together, you know? Just gonna be like 8th grade all over again. Like, just touch it, I'm okay with it. I consent. It's not, if we both say we can, we'll do it, it's okay. I love small rooms in these sets. I'm just really happy to be here too. It's a side note thing, but I love these rooms because you can try the silly Billy stuff. But you guys seem great, and I like telling blowjob jokes in front of kids. That's always a fun. It's just a staple of my career a lot of times. Oh my gosh. I have a friend who he is terrible to talk to. Like he is a friend. He wants to give advice, but he thinks he's like a goal-cast motivational speaker or some shit. Like, all he does is give you these crappy analogies for life, and they don't mean anything. You know, like, I was talking about having some trouble with the Gary gal, you know, and he was just like, do you know the difference between a bull and a buffalo? I'm like, no, Scott. And he's like, a bull will see a storm coming over the hill, and it'll turn and it will run, and the bull may run for 20, 30 miles to just avoid the storm, but the buffalo turns around and faces the storm and runs head on through it and never has to run away. And I was like, you need to stop stealing pills from Mom's medicine cabinet and quit watching Yellowstone, dude. He's starting to wear hats. Everybody thinks they're ripped. I don't know if that's connected to Muskegon. I don't know how many of you guys watch Yellowstone, but from a small town, everyone in my fucking town is starting to wear cowboy hats. It's terrifying. It's not stylish. I'm going to be honest here too. I think I'm in love with a meter maid in Grand Rapids. Like, she is dynamite, dude. She's this, like, spicy Hispanic girl. Like, I haven't talked to her. I'm kind of scared to talk to her, I'll be honest. I'm just, like, witnessing from afar, and I feel like I love her, but, like, I hate her, too, because she's so good at her job, dude. She's so good. She's nailed me for, like, 15 fucking tickets, just over and over. She's so good at her job. And she's never late. She always goes to work, you know? And I've just been scared to confront her. Like, I don't want to talk to her yet because I knew that I would talk to her, get sassy with her, she'd get sassy back with me, and then I'd end up fucking marrying her. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what I need in my life. And it all came to a head like a couple days ago. I'd come out, it was like 8:30 in the morning. And normally she starts ticketing around 8, but I thought that's a good window. Oh no, I go out there, there's the green fuck you Grand Rapids, pay $20 ticket right on the windshield. I see her cute little ass waddling up the street, you know, going to nail the other tickets. And I was like, today's the day. I'm going to confront her. So I go walking up to her and I was like, hey, you want to keep picking on a working man coming and getting me for all these tickets? And she was like, honey, I ticketed you at 11:30 on a Wednesday. You ain't fucking working. And I was like, God damn. You are what I want, you know? It's like, this is working. And I was like, yeah, well, I think I can show you what a man will do. And she's like, yeah, men don't say that. They just act upon it. And I was like, yeah, touche. So I step forward at her. She steps forward at me. At first it's like confrontational, you know, but there's a little bit of lust. I reach my hand out, she reaches her hand out. We grab hands. I pull her close. When I pull her close, she lets out a little sigh. Right in hip to hip. Eyes are locked, looking at each other. I lean in, she leans in. Our lips touch. Fireworks. I pull her back. I look her in the eyes, and I say, I'm gonna learn salsa. She says, that's racist. Salsa's Cuban. I'm Mexican. And I said, lo siento. And she said, I'll forgive you if you'll go on a date with me and we can talk about my ex-husband, Gary. Thank you. Oh, slow clapper. I'll take it. No, I appreciate you. It's too late now. You don't get... No, I'm just playing. You guys are fun. Do I have time for two more, or where am I at? Cool. Okay. Because I want to tell an even dumber one. This one's for everybody. No. They say no man steps into the same river twice because he's a different man and it's a different river. And that's how I feel when I get high and watch Disney movies. Because I totally don't think they're the same as when I was a kid. Like, I'll forget everything about the movie. But I start rethinking the whole entire thing. Like, the other day, baked out of my mind, took a couple dabs, and I was watching Beauty and the Beast, right? I have changed my entire opinion of this movie. I don't even think Gaston's the bad guy. Yeah, I said it. I ain't saying he's the good guy, but he's got pretty cool gloves. But... I was like, who is the person that has done the most harm in this movie? And after being high and looking at it, I've realized it's the witch. It's the old dirty hag at the start of the movie that comes waddling up to the castle, right? She comes up with a rose and she's like, hey, you want this? And the guy's like, not really. He's like a 15-year-old. What do I want that for, you creepy old bitch? And she's like, okay, well, fuck you and everyone who works at your castle. She turned them all into furniture and shit. Like, one little boy made that decision. She punished everyone who works in that facility. That's fucked up. It's a fucked up thing to do. And she didn't just turn people into furniture. She turned them into furniture shaped like their body when they were people. Fucked up thing to do, dude. She looked at one guy, she was like, oh, you're French and skinny? You're fucking Candle. You're fat with a little mustache? You're a clock. But the worst one was she turned a lady into a dresser. She was just like, yeah, whatever, dresser built bitch, that's you. And the lady's like, I'm a cook with a respectable job. Fuck you, dresser broad. Like, she didn't deserve that, dude. Turned Angela Lansbury into a fucking teapot, you guys. Her and her disabled son. Meanwhile, what's Gaston doing? Nothing but cool shit. Hanging out at the Longhouse, drinking eggs, and hanging out with big old blonde chicks. Having that weird little guy singing homoerotic songs about him. He's just having fun, you know? Then all of a sudden, Belle's dad comes in and ruins it. He's like, oh, they took her. He's like, took who? And he's like, my daughter, Belle. And he's like, the goofy broad that reads books? And he's like, yeah. And he goes, well, who took her? A weird wolf dog man thing in a castle. And Gaston's like, all right, let's round up the boys and fucking kill it. Like, I don't know, he ain't that bad of a guy. He's kind of a hero, actually. I know that joke will never get people to side with Gaston, but you're at least with me on the witch. I'll take that. All right. I'll end on this. I can't wait to be old, you guys. Like, I'm looking forward to it. I don't care about getting older. I don't care about how I look. It doesn't matter to me. I think when you get older, you become a wiser, smarter person. And I have like a vision of being an older man, you know? It's kind of like a dream in the future. And it's just like me, settled down, 30 years, with the same gal. Her name's Ellen. Met her at Hope College or something, you know? And Ellen and I have put our time in, though. We've dedicated our lives to each other. Been committed the whole time, never stepped out, stayed serious, you know? Bought a house together. Not expensive, but decent, modest. Raised some kids in the house. Now the kids are 18. It's time for them to move out. Ellen and I are empty nesters. It's time to find that love again. It's time to buy that RV, you know? Maybe head on out to the Grand Canyon or feel the mist of Niagara Falls. But mostly, I just want to chill with Ellen on the back porch, watch the sunset and drink an Earl Grey tea like married people do. And just like check out the scene, maybe see the kids in the neighborhood across the street shooting hoops. The kid's name is Billy. He's a sweet kid. He's a nice kid. Billy takes a little sideline jumper. Ball takes a funny bounce. Rolls across the street into my yard. Billy goes, "Sorry, Mr. Elder," comes running to get the ball. I put my hand up and I'm like, "Billy, don't rush over so fast. I can get the ball for you, buddy." So I double up off the Davenport, which is what you call a couch when you're old. I waddle down and bend over and get the ball. And once I stand up, there's Billy, right there, smiling that classic Billy smile. And he's like, "Again, Mr. Elder, I'm so sorry." And he reaches his hands out. And at that moment, I pull out my jackknife and pop that ball right in his little bitch face. And grab Billy by the collar and jerk him real close to me so only he can hear. And I go, "Tell your parents to stop spraying Roundup near my fucking garden." Like I said, I can't wait to get old, man, you know? That's my time, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Give it up for Joe Elder,
Thank you.
everybody.
You're good folks.
Oh, shit. Good shit. So,
Thank you.
if you were in that fucking castle, what would you have got turned into?
Oh, God.
What is your body type?
I would have been like a fucking bucket. It would have been the worst. They would have made me like one of the, the wash buckets that's in the back, the ones that had to clean up all the dishes that danced in the good water. I would have been the bucket that held all the bad water at the end of the ballroom dance, probably. It's a rough guess.
You wouldn't have had any fucking legs. You couldn't.
I know. Do you know? I would have just had to take it. They would have had to pick me up by my rope ears or some shit. It would have been the worst. That lady is evil, man.
Oh, shit. So, next question. What's the price on them blowjob machines? What kind of information you got on there?
I honestly should ask my roommate. He was seriously looking into it. See, he was trying to logistically send them over, but I think like they're like $80 or something like
What?
that. But
$80
this was before this is supposed to be a competition with the Fleshlight,
That's
which it's
so
clearly not, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know.
That's so affordable.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, would you pay $80 for a blowjob machine, JC?
Is that dude? Dad leaned all the way over. Would you, buddy?
Who am I raising?
He's like, he works, he makes his own money. It's not my problem. I know. That's awesome.
But why is it okay for like girls to have all kinds of toys and all kinds of, but we're stigmatized if we want to have something? Why is that?
I have a theory.
Okay, let's hear it.
Simple theory. I think it's because men's shit can get fixed and figured out with a hand and lotion. It's easy. Most women in most relationships aren't getting their shit figured out and need a tool to help them. We don't actually need a tool to come as guys. It's already working quite well. So obviously the ladies need a more intricate thing that's going to help them along the way.
Okay, all right. Well, I could get behind that, I guess.
I also think it's funny, just as a side note, that men, when they tried to recreate women, recreated a whole blow-up doll. They're like, I'm going to recreate a whole woman. And women were like, nah, I don't need that. I just need the thing I can put in my purse. That's the actual thing I need. Fuck, making a whole other man to be responsible for. Some dude looked at a blow-up thing, like a floaty in the pool, and he's like, I'll make a woman out of that. This is fucked up.
That's true. Women have so much better parts for sex than we do. We're just.
It's true. You deserve it, though, ladies. You really do. You deal with us.
Deal with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So what age did you realize you were funny? Like what do we?
I remember exactly when it was. So when I was younger, I'm the youngest and the only boy in my family. So I have 3 older sisters, and they did a lot of fighting, and I always just kind of stayed quiet for a long time. I was really quiet. And I got in trouble for staying up late. My mom had told me, classic to my first joke, she was like, I'm going to whoop your ass. You meet me in my bedroom, I'm going to spank you in 10 minutes. And so I was scared to get spanked. So I put on like every pair of jeans I could. I put on 3-4 pairs of jeans and then put my Spider-Man pajamas over top of it. And when I waddled in, my legs couldn't even bend. And she started laughing so hard she was crying. She couldn't hit me. She was laughing too hard. And then I was like, this is a weapon. I can use this. That was right when I realized I could, like, being funny did something for somebody. Yeah.
How long you been performing? How long you been doing comedy?
It was 9 years this month, so it's been 9 years of doing it.
Congratulations,
So
9
yeah,
years.
thank you guys.
It's a long time.
Yeah, and thank you for having me too. This is fun.
That first 5 is fucking
Oh
rough.
God, it still can be, but it's fun. They say that you're not going to get really good at it until you're 15, and that seems like a long time, but man, it does take a long, long time to do it. But there are people that are great around here. Like, if you guys get a chance, go to other shows in Muskegon, go to other shows that Ricarlo produces as well. But there's a lot of really talented Michigan comics specifically that are really going above and beyond what you'd think a local scene is like, too. So
That's true. There are a shit ton of really
solid
talented
comics.
in Michigan. We're spoiled around here. We're spoiled. We
Yeah.
get good crowds. Those good Midwest crowds. And
For
shit.
sure.
What's the worst crowd you ever been in front of?
I've done. I did a VFW hall for a bunch of Army vets that just decided when we walked in that they didn't like us, and that was okay. It's all right, but there was no way of winning them over. That was a rough set because like. There's a bunch of landmines you don't know you're going to hit there. Like saying the word landmine in front of them, even like I just did, is some shit that they like. It depends on the crowd, but that particular one, I've done a lot of VFWs that are great, but that one was like it was kind of a biker, like it was Vietnam vets
keeps
that were
getting
bikers,
worse.
and those guys did not like us. So I don't blame them though. It was just a tough crowd. It was kind of fun to fail in front of them though a little bit.
But if you got a few laughs, you were like, hell
Yeah. Got one pop off the blowjob machine joke, and I was like, I'll take it. I'm taking that to go.
And they were like, how much are those blowjob machines? Are there any made in America?
No, they weren't going to buy them. Yeah, they were foreign made.
But, all right, give it up for Joe
thank
Elder,
you.
everybody. All right, you guys ready for the last comedian of the evening? All right, let's start clapping right now. This man is very funny. Put your hands together for JC Ramos, everyone.
What's going on tonight? Happy to be here. I feel like I'm in the closet of like an angsty teenager that just found out pop culture. This is insane. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. How you doing in the back over there, sir? Dude's dripped out in Carhartt right now. He looks like he's about to tell me you got soft hands, brother, and then deport me. This is crazy. I'm Puerto Rican, don't worry. I'm on your side, sir. I'm not taking your job. No, it's good to be here. Yeah, I'm sorry I made that comment about you. You know, you're looking at me. You can't tell if I'm about to sell you coke or join a frat. It's okay. I recently got told that I look like a young Gomez Adams. I don't even know. It pissed me off more that I didn't know who it was. That's what really made me mad. Got told that I look like an off-brand Johnny Depp. Yeah. No. Just want you guys to let you know, Ricarlo was the one who says all those things, so I was texting him one day. I'm like, where's the show at? He's like, shut up, bitch. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, go back to the cartel. I was like, this seems like a hate crime. Okay. I don't know if that's allowed. Oh, God. Let's see. No, I am happy to be here. A little bit about me. JC stands for Julio Craig. Fuck you. All right, that wasn't the joke. It's crazy when I'm in like a job interview and they're like, okay, so Julio, and I'm like, yeah, they're like getting all like, oh, Hispanic, and then I say Craig, and they're like, and you're not on the sex offender list? So what's going on? Like, I have low self-esteem nowadays. Western Michigan, we got any Western grads in here? Any Western Michigan University? No? Okay, so you guys are all failures. Nobody went to college. No, they recently reached out to me. They're like, hey, we want to have you put on a show for the student athletes, which I think is fucking hilarious that they chose me to relate to people who are about to go into like pro sports. Like there's going to be like a linebacker in the front row whose left leg weighs as much as me. And then I get up there and I look like when I take off my shirt, Sarah McLachlan music starts playing. In the arms of... Some random white lady starts narrating my life. She's like, for $1 a day, you can feed this small brown boy. And I'm like, please, sir, more porridge. More porridge, please. Been going to Chicago a lot. Anybody like Chicago in here? First time I went to Chicago, I met my first ever celebrity. And usually when I meet a celebrity, I'm like, oh my God, I'm your biggest fan. I was under the influence at this time. And anybody an NBA fan in here? Anybody? You guys know Patrick Beverly? Yeah, so there was a Rolls Royce parked in the street, and there's this guy selling water, and he's like, hey, man, Patrick Beverley's in that car. And my friend starts freaking out. He's like, oh, my God, no way. And I'm like, prove it, bitch. Like, somebody else is going to be in a Rolls Royce in the middle of a fucking Chicago street. So he's like, put money on it, bitch. I said, I'll put money on it, bitch. He said, bet. So we go up to the car, and they roll down the window, and it's a goon, like a big-ass dude with a gun, and like 3 other big-ass dudes with guns, and then Patrick Beverley smoking weed. And everybody around us is like, oh, shit, it's Patrick Beverley. And I was like, that's not Patrick Beverley. And everybody was like, what? And even Patrick Beverley, like, stopped. He was like, what the fuck did this kid just say? Like, because usually, like, celebrities are really like, yeah, like, yeah, nice to see you. And he was even a little rattled. He was like, who's saying I'm not Patrick Beverley? So everybody was like, dude, that's Patrick Beverley. And my next response was like, you got ID? Like, Patrick Beverley was like, yeah, officer, let me get that to you. Like, I didn't know what I expected for him to get out of the car and, like, cross me up and be like, yeah, that's Patrick Beverley. That is Patrick Beverley. No, that's him. So, yeah. Self-esteem is at a low point nowadays. Like I said, not too bright. My girlfriend, she humbles me too. One of her favorite things to say to me, like, I had a really good show one day, and I got back in the car with her, and I'm like, wasn't that great? And she's like, you want to know what my least favorite thing about you is? And I'm like, no, it's fine. I didn't want any self-confidence. No, it's okay. I'm going to kill myself. All right. No, she's brutal. She's brutal. One time we were in Chicago, because she lives there. That's why I'm in Chicago so much. And she lost her phone at one of the clubs, and she's dramatic. So when she lost this phone, you would have thought she lost like a kid or something. Everybody passing by sees her crying. They're like, what's wrong? She's like, I lost my iPhone. Okay. And they just kept walking. And so the next day, she made me go back to that street and walk around looking for the phone. But I was in Uggs, shorts, and a flannel with no shirt under, by the way. I looked homeless. Like, people were a Mexican family walked past me, and they were like, here'd you go. Here's $5. No, I was like, no, I'm looking for something. They're like, find God. That's what you need. Here's $5. I was like, fuck you. Next time I went there, I had to take the Greyhound bus there. Such a shit show. Let me tell you a bit about this story. I'm in the bus, and people are hating this bus driver because she's driving this shit a mess. And then she gets us stuck. And instead of just being like, oh, like, we'll get it out, we'll call a tow, she's like, everybody get out and push the bus. And I'm like, this is a little unsettling. So we get out, and people start pushing the bus. What I did notice is it was all Mexicans in the front of the bus. I'm pretty sure it was the same Mexican family, because they were like, ayuda, and I was like, Puerto Rican, you're Mexican, here's $5. I didn't know what to do. It was cultural experience for everybody. Oh my God. You guys good? I don't know what's going on. Yeah, so that's that. Let's see what else we got here. Ricarlo, give it up for Ricarlo. I recently was up in Traverse City with Ricarlo. I did an oopsie. And I got a little drunk. And one of the big dogs at this comedy show, I got some lip. I gave some lip to this person. They were like, why is like lesbian Dora talking to me crazy right now? Like, I don't know. And I gave some lip, and when I woke up in the morning, Ricardo woke me up, and he's like, we need to apologize. And I was like, what's this we shit? Why are we apologizing? Apparently I said some mean things. Ricardo pisses me off, though. I'm going to say that. Ricardo does make me mad. Because when I go to Ricardo for advice, especially about comedy, I want good advice, right? So I asked him about this one venue, and I said, hey, I'm doing this club. I know you've done this club before. Give me some insight. Like, what should I do? And he goes, one thing about this club is they're going to make you make them laugh. I'm like, Ricardo, what the fuck? I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, can you imagine going to driver's training and they're like, one thing about this car, it's going to make you drive the car. You'd be like, we're going to crash this fucking car. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. I called him again the other day, because then I was at a gas station, and there's this girl, super, super nice girl. I always see her at this gas station, and she's like, always smiles, hey, how's it going? Good, you? such a sweetheart. And I walked in one day and I'm getting a Gatorade or energy drink, and she goes, here's the note. Open it when you get to your car. I'm like, excuse me, bitch, are we in the 4th grade? Fuck you. So I get to my car, and basically the gist of the note says, hey, I like you. Do you like me? And then puts all of her socials at the end of the note like it's a fucking business card. She's like, follow me on Instagram, Twitch, Snapchat, Facebook. Like, she's giving me the whole ordeal. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't know what to do. I called my girlfriend first, and she's like, you have to reject her. And then I did. But I felt bad, right? Because my girlfriend's proud of me. But I feel bad because I had to reject a black girl on Black History Month. That taints somebody's conscience. And I called Ricarlo, and I'm like, what should I do? He's like, you should fuck her. I was like, I think society's fucked. I was like, I think society's fucked her enough. I think I need to stand with her. I don't know. I think I need to stand with her. Like, least I can do is repay my reparations and go on a date with her. I don't know. I was nervous about that one. Whew, okay, we're not canceled. We're good. We're not canceled. We're good. Oh, man. No, my mom's a political person. That's where a lot of, my trendiness comes from, believe it or not. No. She is the same person that wore a shirt to work that said, unvaxxed, waxed, and ready to climax. Imagine that being on your tombstone. Like, Tiana was unvaxxed, waxed, and she was ready to climax. Like, all right, Mom. She's crazy, too, because she always practices to me, like, you should always be humble and kind. And I drove with her the other day, and she's like, nice turn signal, fuckface. And I was like, cool, Mom. Moms piss me off because I feel like they always volunteer you for shit that you don't want to do, right? Like, my mom does it, but with dog sitting. Like, we'll be out to dinner with her friends, and they're like, I need somebody to watch my dog. And she'll be like, he'll do it. I'm like, we'll do it, or I'll do it? Because where's the teamwork in this? No, I had to take this dog to the groomer. That pissed me off. 30 minutes after I take this dog to the fucking groomer, they call me. Hey, is this JC? This is he. Everything's going good with the dog. We just wanted to let you know your dog's a humper. Well, what were you wearing? She was like, what? I was like, you whore, you heard me. What were you wearing? Did they ask for consent? At this point, I'm just gaslighting the lady on the phone. She's so confused. She's just basically politely calling me to tell me that this dog is sexually harassing people. I'm like, okay, I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, like I said, I am half Puerto Rican, half white. You can tell because I'm wearing New Balances. They're like, the shirt's giving Miami, but the New Balances. No, I am half Puerto Rican. I got a dad. He's here. Give it up for my dad. You piece of shit, I'm about to go in on you. All right. I'm about to expose you. Joe, you know the CPS number, right? Get it ready. Watch this. The thing about Puerto Rican dads is they like to act white in front of other people that they don't know. Like, dude, we know where you're from. You know what I mean? Like, you just came in wearing like a full-on Jersey Shore outfit that's so outdated. Looks like he's prone to fist pump at any time. We're like, settle down. He would walk into the school when I would get in trouble. He'd be like, my friend, how you doing? What he do this time? No, it's okay. It's okay. No, what he do? Oh, disrupting the class. It's okay. I'm going to disrupt his life when we get home. It's okay. It's okay. No, don't cry. And the thing with Puerto Rican dads is they gotta look sexy with everything that they do. So even when he's whooping my ass, he's taking the belt off like it's a genuine music video. He's like, I start getting horny. I'm like, do it. I'm like, I don't know what to say. My little brother felt that one a little too hard. He's like, no, I know, I did it. It happened earlier. No. They're great. Dads are great. I got a cousin back in Puerto Rico. We call him Poopy. He pisses me off. because he understands English, but he doesn't get like American concepts. You know what I mean? Like, I called him the other day and I was like, hey, like I'm doing a show, and he's like, oh, the guy funny now, huh? This guy's so funny. So funny. Okay, tell me a joke. And I go, knock, knock. And he's like, I'll get it later. And I'm like, bitch, were you just hypothetically lazy? Like, the fuck was that? I go, no, I say knock, knock. You say who's there. And he goes, okay, let's try it again. And I go, knock, knock. And he didn't say anything. And I go, who's there? He's like, I don't know. What the fuck? Bitch. No. He makes me, he's a character. Like, one time we put, he's, his favorite idea, his favorite, like, thing to do is watch Passion of the Christ, but while drunk. It's a crazy concept. It's a crazy concept. So, it's New Year's, and he's the first to get really fucked up. He's the first to get, like, super fucked up. And he's watching it, but falls asleep. So, but before he falls asleep, he's watching and he's like, you bastards. How could you do that to Jesus? I'm in the room like, what did you just say? Like, are you actually, like, do you feel like you're there? So he falls asleep. And when he wakes up, the VCR taping that he's watching of Rambo, right after it, plays Passion of the Christ, or play Passion of the Christ, then Rambo. So when he wakes up, Rambo's playing, and it's gunning all these people down. And he's looking at it and he's like, fuck with them now. Looks what happened when you mess with Jesus. Looks what happens. No. Speaking of my girlfriend again, you know, I've been having trouble sleeping lately. I don't know if this is happening to who else is in a relationship in here. Definitely you, anybody. I've been waking up, you know, feeling like I've been in UFC fights, sleeping next to my fucking girlfriend. Like, I'm going to bed getting ready for a jiu-jitsu match, if you get what I'm saying. Waking up with cauliflower. Joe Rogan's like, let's look at the big screen. Tell us what happened right there. Looks like she got you in a pretty nasty ankle pick. I'm like, Joe, what the hell? Can I get on the podcast soon? He's like, all right, back to you, DC. No. My dad loves my girlfriend, too. It's funny watching him and, like, how he communicates with her sometimes, because now his English is, like, kind of good, but it never used to be that good. Like, I grew up watching him learn English through ESPN. Crazy fucking concept, if I do say so myself. Like, this guy's supposed to take care of me, feed me, and I'm coming home and I'm like, hey, buddy, hey, how's your day? And he's like, no, okay. What did you just say? He's like, LeBron James, 21 points, you don't say. I'm like, okay. Good for you, buddy. My little angel. It was fucked up, though, because the school that I went to, they thought that I didn't speak English. Because they met this motherfucker, and they're like, no way does this little motherfucker... So they put me in a classroom, and it was an English second language program. And in this classroom, it's a bunch of kids who speak no English, and then me, who's walking in with a 40-year-old lady who's like, hola, clase, ¿cómo estás? And I'm like, good. And she's like, muy bien. I'm like, thanks, bitch. She's like, ¿qué eso? And I'm like, that's a car. And she's like, muy bien. I'm like, I'm killing the fourth grade, dude. Finally, I knew something was wrong because I wasn't making any friends at this school. No friends. So I turned to the kid next to me, branching out. I'm like, hey, brother, what's up, Jorge? How's it going today? And he's like, da-na-na, da-na-na. I was like, all right. It's reflecting my at-home life. I don't know if I like this. No, I think I'm going to end on that one, though. I appreciate you guys coming out.
Give it up for JC, everybody. Very funny.
Let's start this interview. Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. Someday, maybe. I'm not bald enough for it. I don't think.
White enough. Anyways.
That too, or rich. I'm poor. Anyways, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But
let's touch on some stuff, man. Let's keep going.
So growing up, how did it feel when your dad was like banging all your teachers? How'd that?
So it's funny. So I was a choir kid in middle school. Believe it or not, I was a little Justin. Yeah, clap it up. I was a little Justin Bieber motherfucker, and I had pipes, dude. I was hitting C notes like it was my fucking job. But yeah, he came into choir one time and he like came in like, you know how in like sitcoms when like somebody comes in and the whole crowd is like, oh, and he like stands there. And he came in the classroom and he's like talking with my teacher, with me in front of the whole class, and then he leaves. And the teacher turns to me and goes, "JC, your dad's hot." I was like, weird that you would say that, Mr. Adams. Anyways. Let's move on.
You're just like, Dad, wear a fucking shirt next time you come.
I was like, Dad, you can't come in here with your cock out. Like, what the hell? He's like, what? This guy hang out anymore? I was like, Dad, come on.
Oh, shit. No, oh, man. So, all right. Here's something that's been on my mind. When we were in Traverse City.
Oh, fuck.
What?
Boy, did we have a time in Traverse City.
Did we have a time? What made you think it was a good idea to pour out half of the Coke and fill it back up with tequila? Why? What?
Because fuck it, we ball. We ball, brother. We ball, brother. I swear to God, I got so drunk I was cutting like WWE promos. Like I was like, let me tell you something, brother. Ricarlo's gonna get in there and destroy the ring. People were like, dude, he does stand up. I was like, I will put you in a fucking armbar, brother.
It was, oh my gosh. I knew things were going south at that point. I looked over like, this motherfucker done poured out the Coke and filling it up with tequila. Okay, cool, all right.
Ricarlo went black dad on me immediately. He's like, get your ass up in the room right now. We'll talk when we get up there. And I was like, can I have dinner first? And he was like, no!
Oh shit, that shit was crazy. But at what age did you realize that you were funny? Like, when did it hit you? Like, oh,
I
shit.
started getting pussy, dog. No, I'm just kidding. God, you know what they say, if you can make them jiggle. All right, never mind. Actual answer. No, I was probably in like the first or second grade, and my dad, I had divorced parents, 2 Christmases, not to brag. And when we had pickups, my dad would like wait for me to like fall asleep in the back of the car. And he would put on like Cat Williams and like Ron White and like Jeff, like all these like amazing comedians. And so he would think I was asleep, and I'm in the back of like pimpins, bitch. And and then I would like be in like the first and second grade, and I would like go on the playground, and I would just be like doing sets in front of kids that like didn't get it. Like, you know how like insane that is for like a 9-year-old to be like pimpins, bitch, and like some 9-year-old goes home and she's like, this kid called me a bitch today, and I'm like, yeah, whore. So that was kind of like the concept of like, okay, like I just like, it just started out with me just liking comedy and like appreciating it, and then you develop into like the I'm friend group funny, and then from there you try doing comedy in front of a pizza parlor at 7 o'clock at night with some dudes that are just trying to watch the game, and they're like, please stop talking about cum. And I'm just trying to enjoy my day off. And you're like, dating's weird, right? So.
People are just trying to watch the games. You're like, I'm just trying to live my dreams.
Like, dude, like that's the thing is like I've done so many gigs that I just like don't want to do, like, and then I have to get up there and just talk about some like insane bullshit. Like I did like an all black crowd once, and I went up there and I was like, I got my ass ate one time, and they're like, oh, what the hell, and just lost their fucking shit. And I was like, I don't feel good about myself right now. I called my girlfriend. I was like, make me feel better. She's like, you want to know what my least favorite thing about you is? I was like, all right, that's a good point. That
is the that is the craziest thing. Like, we're talking about living like this is our dream. Like, we love doing comedy. Then we get up there and like come's funny, and like that's the
it was so funny too.
And we're so deep about it.
It was so funny too because the whole just concept of me being in like fucking Traverse City with Ricarlo was so funny. Just like me like drinking like tequila out of a fucking Coke bottle and going up to like these comics who are like doing big shit, and then there's me and I'm like, do you have any advice for me? I just want to follow my dreams, and they're like, yeah, I bet you do. Like it's the same concept of like LeBron James coming up to you and being like, you play basketball, and you're like, well, I'm on the Harlem Globetrotters, so kind of, you know, I'm an open micer. It was, and then people are like, so what is he doing with you? And Ricarlo was like, oh, he does comedy. And they're like, no, like, you're 41. He's 22, and you guys are staying in the same hotel room. And Ricarlo was like, yeah, we are. Hell yeah, you know I'm tearing that shit up. I was like, Ricarlo, how do I get the footage after the show? He's like, you know where the casting couch is. I said, do I, brother? Do I? One thing about the casting couch is. No,
We all had to pay our dues somehow.
yeah, I'm
Oh,
paying reparations.
shit.
Anyways.
How long you been doing comedy?
Oh, man. Like a year and a half now?
Oh, okay, damn, year and a half. You're fucking funny for a year and a
Yeah.
half. Good job, good
He was
job.
5. That's why he got beat up.
Hey. Dad, can you knock it off? I'm trying to be cool in front of my friends. This is a live taping.
Not he's funny too. God damn, you were, man. Your
He's
girl.
just brown, dude.
He's just.
No, he was a good dad. I remember. Anybody from Zealand in here? Anybody from Zealand? No? Okay, good. First guess was going to be the Carhartt back there. I was like, you look like you're giving farm boy vibes. No, I went to Zealand for like a year, and like when I first got there, like I just didn't fit in. Like these were like kids that were wearing like basketball shorts and cowboy boots, and then I get called gay because I came in wearing like skinny jeans, and they're like, I bet you suck dick, huh? And I was like, depends who's asking, brother. And and like I was getting like literally like it was like movie shit that you see, but they would like walk past me and you'd be like, you're gay, and I'd be like, that's not even a good insult, like. So what? Anyways. And then like, I was like, yeah, well, I'm the rubber and you're the glue, so whatever you say bounces off of me. And they're like, yeah, he's gay. And I finally like told my dad about it. I was like, Dad, I'm getting bullied at school. I don't know what to do. And he's like, he went like full Liam Neeson. And he was like, don't worry. I will handle this. And I was like, I don't know if I want you to handle it. And so I was in the lunchroom and I was like eating with like the few friends that I did have. And they're like, hey dude, isn't that your dad? Which, at this point, you can't really miss like a Puerto Rican with a faux hawk. Like he just looks like The Rock, like just basically looking to sell you some bullshit. He's like, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? And we're like, rice. So, anyways, he comes into this lunchroom, and he walks through, and he's wearing like the tightest shirt you could possibly imagine. And I'm like, dude, you look like a douchebag. And he walks up and he hugs me, and he's like, where is he? And I'm like, oh my God. And so like, I'm too scared to challenge him. So I'm like, over there. And he like walked past the kid and he did like the same shit. He was like, and the kid turns around. He's like, what the fuck? And saw this fucking asshole. And he's like, do you know JC? He's breathing heavy and shit. And the kid's like, yes. And he's like, that is my son. And then just disappeared into the day. It was just pointing at him. And then he comes back up to me, and he looks at me and he goes, hug me so everybody knows who I am. And I'm like, did you just conquer my school, asshole? What the hell?
And that's the difference between a fucking dad and a father.
Yeah.
That's the difference
Yeah.
right there.
I'm like, I don't know that he did the same shit in like to a second grader. He was like, I will find you. I'm like, Dad, he's in the second grade. Like, I don't even know if he knows how to wipe his ass yet. Like,
True story.
Dad,
Give it up for JC and his dad, everybody. Oh, shit. Good shit. Man, did you guys have fun tonight? All right. Thank you guys for coming out. We do this. What do we do this, Phil? The last Saturday of every month? Something like that. We do this the last Saturday of every month. So be sure to keep an eye out for the next show. But other than that, thank you guys for coming out and supporting live comedy. And give it up for yourselves. Thank you. Have a safe night. Goodbye.